Hey guys, welcome out to the range. Today I wanted to do a video for you on the Trijicon Mini ACOG. The actual official name of the ACOG is the 1.5 by 16S. This is the version that is designed specifically for short-barreled rifles, and you can see it's very low on the pick rail. And it is by far my favorite for CQB. I want to be very specific. My favorite ACOG is the 4x32, and I think there are like 50 or 60 variants of that optic, but the 4x32 is my favorite. The CQB version, the strictly CQB version, this one is my favorite, obviously, for CQB. And because this is an 11.3 inch barreled SBR, this ACOG is perfectly suited for this application. Behind me I've got a target set up at roughly 100 yards. Actually, it's just a skosh over 100 yards. And heading up into those woods is a unknown distance overland course that I set up last week. And to give you guys an idea of how efficient this optic is at doing its job, I'm going to run that course for you. Come on, let's go. All right, here we go. Let's hope I don't lay an egg. First time out. All right, it's a keeper. Let's go. Of the many facets of this optic that I like, the one that I like the most, frankly, is the fact that it's very small, very short, very light, very narrow. And it suits this rifle perfectly. This is a registered SBR 11.3 inch barreled rifle that I've been running for a while, and it truly is a pleasure to work with this gun. You can carry this gun for an extended period of time, and you don't have to worry about the gun fatiguing you, especially when you're in full armor, which is what I'm wearing today. Not bad at all. I'm not quite sure which one of these was my first hit, or I'm not quite sure which one of these was the hit that I just took from standing, but I was aiming here. Earlier I was confirming zero with different ammunition types, which is what all the hits are about. Here's the next one. See if I hit it. Sunday when I first ran this one, the top one was the hit on Sunday. The lower one is the one from today, from over there. All right, let's keep trucking. This type of training with a weapon on an overland course like this gives you a better understanding Heck yeah, man, that's money right there. Pick up your casing. An overland course like this gives you a better understanding of the rigors of carrying a long gun. I've hoofed it up this hill, and even though this gun only weighs in at 7 pounds, 14 ounces, fully loaded, battle dressed as you see it here, everything, it is still 7 pounds, 14 ounces that I really wish I didn't have to carry. But if you're potentially going to end up in an engagement where you're going to have to be shooting an enemy at intermediate ranges like this right here, these plates are 6 inches by roughly 11 inches, and you want to have an optic that gives you the ability to spot the enemy, and the Mini ACOG gives you the clarity and the field of view to do that. That's a hit. This is why I like this exercise. You can see the plate down there. Now, check that out. Remember guys, this course is not about being in the woods. This course is about picking out your target and discerning the target between all these objects that I'm supposed to miss. These could be anything from people to vehicles to whatever you want to call it. Every tree out here is something I have to miss to hit that white plate downrange, which from here is Man, I don't know, 75? I'm not sure. No, I don't have a clear shot there. There we go, there's a clear shot there. That's it. Many times throughout this video you're going to hear me say the cool thing about this optic is, well, there are a bunch of really cool things about this optic. The cool thing about this optic at this particular moment is, see that top right hit? That hit is exactly the last instant where I saw the 2 MOA dot as it basically did this. Because remember guys, I hoofed it up a hill. At this point, we are bordering on 300 yards that I've been moving non-stop, wearing all this misery. And this right here, like I've said before, is a 6-inch by roughly 11, or roughly 6-inch by roughly 11-inch steel plate that simulates the central area of the human torso, or basically the central area of the head and the neck. So this is a difficult shot, especially when you're winded. So instead of basically just running wind sprints across the range, I'm doing, like for example, when you test a gun, you don't just mag dump the gun. You literally go pop, 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 pop. And I think the tempo is actually slower than that. And what you're doing is you're testing your ability, cardiovascular system wise, you're testing your ability of your cardiovascular system to keep you evened out while you're moving over. That's why this course is known as an overland course, while you're moving over a long distance. The reason all this plays into what it is that I'm talking about in this video is this optic gives you the field of view, the clarity to discern exactly what it is that you're looking at downrange. Remember guys, it's only 1.5 magnification, which technically equates to zilch magnification, nothing. The reason it's 1.5, I bet, is probably just because it's got glass, you know, glass on the front, glass on the back, and argon, I believe it's argon in the middle. Dynamite optics, whenever you're talking about optics and you're talking about optical glass, there is no discussion, meaning that when you're talking about Trijicon glass, there is no parallel. It's just that good. Because ACOGs are set optics, set magnification optics, you're not dealing with parallax. You're not dealing with all of the issues that come with trying to look through a scope that's got variable power. See that? This is why I like being out here so much. Well, looky what I found. Another bad guy. Let's freehand this one. It. I know the camera can't pick it up, but man, there were a bunch of branches between me and that target. So I wasn't sure if the shot was even going to make it there. These plates are great. They are a solid training tool. The first time I saw the Trijicon 1.5 by 16S, I knew that I was going to be spoiled / ruined for everything else. Oh, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity for a prone shot. Ooh, that's going to be a challenge. There's a lot of grass between me and it. That's more like it. That first shot, no doubt, got caught by by everything that was between me and it. Shot taken from over there. Target is over there. The reason I always walk out to each target is twofold. First, I want to judge where the impact was in relation to where I saw the reticle come to rest, because remember, you're dealing with your heartbeat, you're dealing with whatever environmental issues. Like I said, shot from up there, so easily 60 plus, 70 plus yards out to here. So you're dealing with a lot of movement, and of course, There's a bunch of junk up on that hill between me and this target. I believe today's hit is low and right. Yeah, I believe that's Sunday because it's oxidized, and that one's fresh. So like I was saying, the reason I walk out to the target is I want to make sure that where I saw my optic come to rest is at the moment of ignition of that round is actually what that hit is showing. And this is a great time to actually show you this. One of the reasons that I really, well, as you've heard me say, one of the reasons that I really like this optic is it's very low to the pick rail. You'll notice that what we're dealing with here is essentially right here where my index finger is touching is the muzzle. So this is where the gun is actually shooting, and this is where the gun is looking. You'll notice there is very little mechanical offset or sight over bore from optic to bore. Sight over bore. It's very low on this one. That's why I like this particular Trijicon. This particular ACOG variant. You gotta love it out here. Actually, guys, I wanted to show you something. If you don't have targets, but you have property to work with, see that rock right there? That rock can actually act just like a target for you. What did it do when I hit it? It blew a big cloud of junk. That cloud is different than if I had shot into the dirt beside it. That shot went into the dirt and did nothing to really let you know that you'd actually hit that target. That's a distinct target to aim at. That's probably the size of a volleyball. And that's the effect you get when you hit a rock. It's satisfying. It gives you the feedback that you need. It lets you know that you're tracking your reticle properly. Now, of course, here, I'm 20-ish yards, 25 yards from this thing. So I have to remember that there's a little bit of a mechanical offset. I'm gonna have to aim a little bit higher than when I'm 0-4. This gun has a solid 100-yard zero. So I know that I have to be aiming a slight bit higher than where it is that I want to hit on this thing. So once again, guys, if you can't afford the targets, but you have the land to work with, there's your target. I mean, there it is right there. Poor man's target. And I'm a poor man. Or, let me see if I can hit it from here. Down in this ravine is a puddle of water in the tire tracks. Let me see if I can hit it. See that? The water atomizes and kicks up. I can take the moment of ignition and pulling the trigger where that reticle was. I get the effect from the land because that's water versus just to the right of it. I didn't get the big kick up that I got from hitting that big puddle. So you don't have to have a target standing to get good practice. You just have to have a distinct something to aim at in the distance. There's one. That is a satisfying sound. I've got two more targets down here. One of them is way out there in the distance, 70-something yards. Let's do a little rice paddy squat and hit it. And then the last one is down in a ravine over here somewhere. I always forget where it is. I believe it's down here. There it is right there. Like I said earlier, guys, this optic gives you such clarity, such field of view, that it makes a decent shooter better just because it gives them a more solid piece of equipment to work with. ACOGs, by their very design, are meant to help you discern targets from varying distances. Even this ACOG, the smallest of all the ACOGs, is set up to give you two solid working tools: a ring and a very specific dot for precise shooting. This optic really truly is CQC, it's a master at CQC, and it is more than capable at long-range shooting. As you guys have clearly had a chance to see, the Trijicon Mini ACOG 1.5 by 16S is a tactical tool that is unmatched. I know that I'm a little biased on that because I really like these things, but being a guy who's tried EOTechs, MRDSs, T1s, the comp MLs or M2s, I forget what they're called. I've been in this industry long enough now that I can honestly tell you that I've actually watched all of the red dots come in. And fortunately, I think they're pretty much all still here in the industry. Some are better, some are nyeh, but any optic that you put on a long gun obviously makes you better. In recent years, with things going the way they are in our nation, I realized that I needed to be focusing toward things that didn't really require batteries. If you study light infantry, one of the things that you find is that the focus of the light infantrymen is to minimize those items that require batteries. And, well, to minimize weight of what they're carrying, and also to minimize those things that require batteries because batteries equate to weight. When I stumbled upon this optic 6 years ago, something like that, 5 or 6 years ago, I reached out to my Trijicon contact and I said, hey, would it be possible to get a couple of these optics for T&E purposes? And they sent them out, and guys, just like instantly, I was hooked. They're that good. Every person that I hand this weapon or my other rifle that has one of these on it too, they just go, wow. And the funny thing is, they think they're looking at an optic with batteries until I show them that the duct tape on top of the optic is what's covering the fiber optic bundle, and they're still getting enough light. Right now, as I look through it, I'm still seeing a clean red dot, a clean red ring and a red dot in the middle, because there's just enough being collected at the front and a little bit at the back, and the entire rest of it is just covered in duct tape. This is that efficient of an optic at collecting light and delivering it to the reticle. Whenever I do these types of videos, I like to give you guys plenty of examples of how the item is being used, and I think the obstacle course up here in the woods is more than enough proof that this optic is perfectly dialed in for CQB and long range. Frankly, for me, what it boils down to is this: if I can see the target, I can hit the target with this optic. That's the beauty of dealing with an optic on your gun that's always running. It's just sitting there waiting for you to pick up the gun and work with it. And I hope I've answered the questions that I know you guys are going to have. I try to work through these videos and answer things the way I know that I would answer, the way that I would ask those questions. I'll have all the specs on this optic, the links in the description. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. As always, I thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns out in practice. Have a good one. And you know what? From where we're standing, it is roughly 70-ish yards. Let's try to get a headshot. Whee! That target's got so many hits on it at this point, I'm having difficulty actually like putting the dot on it. All right, guys, have a good one.